Hey, welcome back to another RSG Lunch Stream. I'm Ranger J 1999, part of the crew, the RSG crew, and it is time for our daily lunch, little rendezvous, little get-together, little soiree into Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. Joining me, of course, on this epic adventure is, of course, Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman. Dr. Finn, how goes it with you? Oh, Jesus. If you guys haven't seen it, last night we introduced our new Around the World series with your beloved Grande Patron.
Oh man, I watched it like 20 times this morning. I can't help it.
Oh God. So bad, but so good at the same time. Just epically incredible. So, oh man, if you guys haven't checked it out, check out last night's stream. I think it's up at the 38-minute mark. I think is when we did the first.
I'm gonna end up putting I'm gonna put them up later today.
Yeah, I figured you were.
I gave it to the VIPs this morning so they can watch it, and then it'll be up for the rest of the public later today. So
yeah, Sith Lord said that was Goldfinity.
I'm telling you, Grande Patron is my muse.
He's a lot of things, yeah.
He just does things, and he just gives me ideas.
I swear, awesome. I mean, we could have two segments. Grande doing commercials, and then him reading. And I think we would not need to cover anything else, and we would be good to go. You know, it's so it's pure entertainment at its basic form, and it is crazy. I mean, I think I was in tears last night. It's just so outrageously just ridiculous. God.
Okay.
A second.
All right, we've already started to get some questions in.
Yeah, I bet we have. Let's see. We had the introduction of the Marauder. We covered the reworks last night. A lot of people are trying to figure out what to. I'm already seeing Palpatine and Vader and crap in Marine already. It's like, oh my lord.
So I'm gonna try and fight them later as it gets to my payout, because my payout's in like 6 hours. But I was seeing some of the stuff that people are using for. I mentioned yesterday, you know how they introduced the new packs and everything in the game, like the ability mat packs and all those that are like there for a limited time and you can spend your crystals and whatnot. How I thought it was a little bit of a trick on the part of CG, and there's probably something big coming, and they're trying to get people to spend their crystals and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, you did.
I think the same thing is happening with Palpatine and Vader. When they did the post on the forums, right, they gave us the final text. They didn't tell us what the actual Zeta upgrade is. If you look at what the Zeta upgrades are, I don't necessarily think they're worth it. The abilities are good without the Zeta.
They're I think solid. Like the one they gave to Vader is really pimp.
Exactly, like the stuff with Vader, right? The best part about his
do Zeta, but I did
was the speed.
Yeah, I upgraded his stuff last night up to putting the Zeta. I just did Colorado Mass, so that Zeta went bye-bye. And, of course, I did the event already to the challenges, Finn. I have one more to do, but, yeah, there was no Zeta in my future for that. Let's see, no escape up to where I've got it at. I think it's 7 speed and everything. The only thing let's see.
But see, the Zeta, that's the thing. The Zeta doesn't contribute anything to speed. The Zeta on Vader gives you that health recovery.
Yeah, I just think adding the new unique is what's pretty disgusting.
Exactly. Same thing with Palpatine. The crackling doom is really good now because they added all the effects with the shock, right? So now it does that 20% max health if the character is shocked, if they're a Jedi and they're a rebel. That's the best part about the Zeta.
Oh yeah.
But the Zeta is the whole thing with the protection, and the only way to recover protection on Palpatine right now is if you either put him under a Thrawn or you put him with the Thrawn. So you're almost using a Zeta where you're forcing it that Palpatine has to be on the same team as Thrawn. Now, maybe it would have been anyways, but the Zeta itself for both characters, I don't think are worth it right now. I think this is all leading to another character that's going to be even bigger and better at the end of the month. And
yes,
I am
our Lord and
my
Savior
Zeta until
Revan.
that.
Oh.
Well, I think with all this, it may more likely be Malgus, just based on all the stuff, but it could be Revan as well. But the way that they're building this all up,
that lineup with Vader, Palp, Grand Moff Tarkin, throwing a tank, Darkseid, and like a DPS, and I mean, you're really going to be kicking the crap out of some peeps.
You will, but you don't need the Zeta for it.
That's true.
That's the whole thing. That you don't need the Zetas in order to make these characters good. Like, they're good with their level 7 abilities. I think their Zetas will look even better at the end of the month, because I suspect that they are about to roll out a bigger character equivalent to Nihilus back in February, which is why I'm thinking it may be like a Malgus or a Revan or maybe even like a Traya or something from the Triumvirate. If they introduce that character, you will want your Zetas for that character first. Right. I think it's too early for... They're putting all these things into the game, which is great. If you have the resources to and you really want to, go ahead. But I think if you have crystals and you're trying to get the most bang for your buck, you're better off saving everything for now until the end of the month, because I think there's a bigger release coming out at the end of the month. Because the Zetas right now, it doesn't look... I haven't fought them yet, so I can't say 100%. But from what I've seen, the Palpatine teams work on offense, they don't work on defense, which basically means that they don't differentiate themselves from any other meta team right now. If they don't last on defense, then you're putting a Zeta on a character just to have them to play around with, which is fine if that's your intent. But if you're trying to be ready for whatever meta-shaking character is coming up, I would say just save everything. Don't bother buying those packs, although I have been tempted to buy that ability map pack. To get
that
those,
was nice. I mean, you can't...
with all the Omegas, yeah, it's tempting. It's tempting for me to buy it, but I am saving all my crystals. I am still going to save my Zeta until I see what is coming up, because I think this is all kind of like a bait and switch almost. They're showing you all this shiny stuff, and they're about to drop something even bigger, and people are going to regret spending their Zetas. That's just my thought.
I don't know if you can regret buying a Zeta if it's on a good character that you'll get a lot of value out of.
But I don't think you're getting the value out of them. You're getting the value out of the character with the non-Zeta ability most of the time. The Zeta ability is so niche in its uses in this game right now, I don't think the Zetas are worth it. Like Palpatine's Crackling Doom, you have to put it on a Thrawn. If you don't use it under a Thrawn lead, then you're only recovering it with his ability, and that has, I think, either a 4 or 5 turn cooldown. So you're not really recovering your protection at all. If you face a Night Sister team, Night Sisters ignore protection anyway, so it's not like you're really doing much against the Night Sisters in that scenario.
Right.
So the Zeta there isn't worth it. The Zeta on Palpatine's lead may be worth it, but again, that means that you're using him in a lead, and whether or not it's supposed to... this goes back to what I was saying, like, things work on offense. If it doesn't hold on defense, then you just put a Zeta on a character that's just basically an arena toy if you're already fine in arena. And then Vader's unique, the best part is the speed, and you get that without the Zeta. That's why I'm saying they're not bad. They all have uses that you can make use of. Like the Vader one will probably come in use if you face a Jedi Raid team, because then you don't get any turn meter reduction despite any exposes and all that. So it could come into use. But you're only really using that against Jedi Raid teams. If you do it against a CLS team, there is potential turn meter reduction from Han Solo and CLS, but chances are you have a tank on your team, which means that they're going to be attacking the tank, not Vader. So Vader's unique is there and not utilized.
Make an interesting point, my friend.
So I would just save, because I think this is all a giant ploy to get everyone to start spending. And you can spend if you want. I mean, they look like pretty fun
That's how
characters.
we keep the business going. What's wrong with you?
Well, I think there's going to be something even bigger and better to spend it on at the end of the month.
What if there's not? Are you going to apologize to all these fine people that can spend and support?
No,
the Star
then
Wars
it would be.
Galaxy
Then I'm
Heroes
even more happy that I
economy?
told you to save. I'm even happier if there's nothing at the end that they saved it, because without some kind of different leader. So let's just say for example, they introduce, and Sith Lord had mentioned this kind of when we were just talking about it, and he was theory crafting a little bit. If they introduce a Darth Malgus, right, who has a lead ability where characters will recover protection with every basic attack or something like that. Now you have something where Palpatine's unique, his unique Zeta, ends up being really useful, right? So if you need another character in order to make Palpatine and Vader better. So that's why I'm saying to save it. If there is no character, right, and I'm predicting that there is going to be something bathroom. Big. I'm predicting that if there is a big character, right, then the Zeta becomes useful. If there is no Zeta, or not Zeta, if there is no big character coming at the end of the month, then your Zeta on like a Palpatine unique just kind of sits there. You're not going to get much use out of it. You're only going to get it on Thrawn every so often on his turns. If Night Sisters will ignore protection, so now you just go to hell. I would just straight up save it, wait until the end of the month, see what's about to drop. We know that the game changers are going to EA at the end of the month, right, for something big. So, and this
totally huge.
It is, and this doesn't seem like it's as big as what's coming at the end of the month. So I would just straight up save it.
You make a good point, my friend. It's hard to argue that.
Well, that's what they like to do, right? They're in the business of making money.
Of course.
And this is a real, I'll be honest, this is a good way to make money.
It's smart.
You're going to get people to buy these things. It is Palpatine and Vader, so people will spend their Zetas and spend other things just based on the fact that it's Palpatine and Vader. The uniques aren't bad. The leader for Palpatine is good if you're set on using it. So you can make use of all of this, and so it's not a bad ploy. But what we do is we have to try and analyze it, especially as free to play, because we're limited in the resources, right? So usually you have to just kind of analyze what's going on in the game and try and figure out what the best course of action. It's not always right, but that's what free to play is. It's a guessing game.
Pretty much is. All right. Well, that's been Deep Thoughts with Brockfinity. All
right. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, we always have
I'll go
fun.
through some of the questions, but I think we'll have some extra fun here in a little bit.
Yeah, I'm looking at what I need to finish coloring to Gear 11. Okay, I need stun cuffs. Oh, isn't that just super? And more stun cuffs.
So I have 3 questions.
And golden balls. I need golden balls, Finn. Yeah.
Those actually aren't too bad if they're in the shipments.
No, I'll bet them in the shipments. It's fine. You know,
yeah.
I always go.
They're good value.
You know, the I don't usually buy a whole piece of salvage, but I will look for like the 20 at a time. I think that's a really good deal. You know.
Yeah.
I mean,
that one and the hollow projectors are the stuff that I buy from the shipments for crystals.
Sense. You know, totally makes sense. Okay. We got some questions. Right?
Yep. I have 3 questions that I have saved up. I'll try and collect more, but after the 3, I want to do something fun.
You have 3 saved up from when?
From earlier in the chat.
Oh, okay.
So I grabbed the first 3 questions from this chat, and then I want to do something fun, and I'll try and grab more questions as we do.
Word.
Okay. So the first question is Nathaniel Miller's. He has thoughts on the change to Palpatine's unique damage timing. I feel like it's been nerfed. Just an unmarked dot effect now. On the plus side, Sunfac may be viable for a Chirpatine T-Botine team.
Oh, it's always been viable for Phase 3, right? I think it just makes it better. I mean, what do you think?
So it is one of those things that the B2 in Phase 3 isn't able to be shocked, right? Which would have been kind of interesting if he could be shocked.
Yeah, you can do all the other debuffs because I run the Jedi Training Raid team with Thrawn and stuff. I mean, you put every other debuff on him. Jesus, you know, you shatter his monkey ass or fracture.
Yeah.
It's like, but I can't use shock. I'm Lord Palpatine. You can't shock him, sir. What is this nonsense?
So it is pretty interesting to see how it would work. I don't know if it's a nerf. It's more, I guess you do have to get more conditions to it if that's what you're talking about. So Now you need the Jedi Rebel tag in addition to just having the shock on it. I think it's actually pretty good overall. I don't see it as a nerf, but again, I have to play around with it a little bit more. I haven't played around with Palpatine too much yet. At least on paper, it looks like it isn't too much of a nerf. It's pretty even, maybe a little bit stronger to try and counter the CLS rebel teams. So I think it's more designed towards territory war and territory battles. So
absolutely. I mean, they'll be munching on some rebels. Nom, 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 nom. I'm really digging the First Order team, dude. I got the first Zeta on Kylo, man. I got to get... look at that protection. Oh, just keep going. It's so amazing. I love it. I got to get the other Zeta, which I'll start farming. I've got pretty much of my ships covered, right? So now, and I just got, I'm farming Sith Trooper. I got the 6 stars finally. The drop rate on him is brutal, dude. Because I'm doing 3 refreshes in full canteen every day, and I'm only getting like 16, 15 to 20 maybe, if I'm lucky. Sometimes less than that. That's a tough farm, man. But yeah. I should have him ready for the next Territory Wars. Not this one, but I'll have my Sith team ready to go. I'm really thinking about investing in Marauder, man. He's looking pretty damn good. I mean, I really was looking at his stuff last night and really thinking about it, what I could do with that team. He's got a lot of possibilities on the Sith team.
I agree with that. All right. Next question is from Stama Osbuff and says, can you go over some offensive counter squads for Territory Wars for the free-to-play and average players? For instance, some people can't farm Shore Trooper, yet they don't have CLS, Thrawn, etc. That's a hard one.
I mean,
the bright side, at least, is that you're facing a guild with relatively the same GP, right?
Yes, that's a good thing.
So if you don't have certain characters, chances are they don't have them in high volumes either. So it's tricky.
No Shore, no CLS. I mean, you just have to. I'm trying to think.
You have to know the abilities.
It comes down to that, knowing what the other team has and how to get around it, right? Just because you don't have a CLS does not mean you can't beat a CLS with another team, right? There's a lot of teams out there. I know we talked about it in our Territory War video, right?
And Stemma Osbuff says, unless they're sandbagging. Yes. If they're sandbagging, that's a whole different
issue. You're hosed then. You know.
That's going to not necessarily be to counter a particular team. That's going to be more just because they have the mods on their characters.
Oh yeah,
mods make a huge difference in Territory Wars.
I mean, like I use my Rogue One team to beat CLS teams, depending on the lineup I'm facing. Right? I'll use General Kenobi and Zaris to beat a CLS team. You can use a JTR team to clear a CLS team. I mean, usually I'll clear 3 CLS teams for my midichlorians when we do our Territory War today. I'll use my General Kenobi team, I'll use my Jedi Training Array team, and I'll use my Rogue One team. That's 3 CLS out the door. Usually I'll do 2 CLS, and then I'll kind of hold my JTR and see if they have JTRs, and then that's 1 JTR that I get rid of. I'm trying to think what other teams I've used. Weaker CLS lineups, I've used Thrawn lead. I mean, the troopers are really good against, rebels and stuff, so that's always good. Night Sisters are always a good thing, right? I mean, there's a lot of combinations, that you can use against different lineups. As long as you know what you're doing, you can beat it, right? I mean, RNG is RNG. I mean, if someone dodges it, you just like, what, really? There's nothing you can do, right? Happens to me in ships all the time. But yeah, it's very much possible that you can beat CLS teams with your other lineups. It just depends on what you have, right? Know what you have.
We talked about Ewoks. I know it's not a huge team that people use, right?
I mean, you can say what you want about the Ewoks. They get enough gear on them. Yeah, Tebow lead with those little furry butt munches going at it. I mean, they can do some serious damage, man. Warrior talked about that, about beating teams with his Ewok squad. which was fascinating to hear. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the Ewoks, but I mean, you got to give the little fur balls credit, for you know, especially on offense. They suck on defense. Sorry, they just do. But offensively, they can really take out a team.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about knowing the abilities and what counters it. So, like CLS teams, like Ranger was talking about, their biggest strengths are that they counterattack. And usually there's a Han Solo that goes crazy. They may have Chase, which also goes crazy. They might have a Fulcrum Ahsoka, something like that. The easiest way to counter a CLS team is to get a team that dazes so they don't counterattack, or you get a team that stealths so they don't counterattack. And then you can start working through it. You need to make sure you have utilities that counter what the other ones are. So you would want like a tank in the Ewok team, for example, so you could put like a Paplu. You want somebody that can dispel, right? So then your Tebow gives a stealth in the lead position, and he can dispel with his special. You want to make sure that if you're doing something where you're kind of undermanned, you want some kind of healer. Ewok Elder is great because he can also res. So, and this is, again, assuming that you put gear on those characters. So I know not a lot of people have Ewok super geared. So if they're not geared and they're getting one shot by CLS, then obviously the counter's not going to work. But you counter based more on the ability more so than you just do like in arena, where you try to put your best strength against the other best strength, because you have so much more leeway in arena. So it's just understanding the abilities and trying to figure it out. I told Ranger the other day, at the end of the territory war, there was like a little bit of a cleanup to do. There was a gear 12 Biggs and a gear 11 Princess Leia, and I was down to trash, like non-modded level 85 gear 7 trash. And the team that I used to take it out was a Newt Gunray lead with a Greedo, a General Grievous, a Resistance pilot, and a Zam Wessel, I think it was. No, I think it was a Cad Bane. So, and that team worked because I was able to control the turn meter on Biggs enough to kill him. Because Biggs' biggest thing is that whenever he gets hit, if you crit on him, he's going to gain full turn meter. And my team doesn't have any mods, so they don't really crit. So you're able to do damage on Biggs. Princess Leia can stealth all she wants. So all you need to do is just kind of cover for a little bit. So you can find little teams even with trash in order to take out bigger squads. But in the end, mods, even crappy teams with good mods, can take out teams. So
there you go.
All right. Next question from member Tauntauns. So, do you think we are going to need a 7-star Count Dooku for an event, since they released a pack for him? Also, do you still think we need Sith Trooper?
Yes, Sith Trooper, yes. Dooku, I think they're just doing it because it's, finish up your, for your new Sith they're doing, but you don't need Dooku. And he's an easy farm, I think, right?
Yeah, he's a very easy farm. Yeah. He's in Cantina and he's in hard mode.
Right, so you can get him easily. So, yeah, do not... characters that are easy to get, you just should never buy their pack. That's my philosophy.
Unless they come in a pack with other stuff like Omegas or something, but these ones don't.
No. So
there is the potential, which is my guess, is that there's going to be an event of some kind, maybe legendary, that will require you to have 5 7-star Sith in general.
Yes.
Maybe not necessarily Dooku. Dooku they gave the pack for, so it may be a hint. They also had Sith Assassin as our character of the month, so there's that. But you may need 5 7-star Sith for a legendary Sith release. So just throwing that potential out there. Usually the legendary events don't require specific characters, so you wouldn't need especially Sith Trooper. You wouldn't need specifically Sith Assassin, something like that. But it is quite possible that there is a legendary event coming out that will require you to have 5 7-star Sith. And strangely enough, I was thinking about this. I don't know if you have any other ideas, Ranger, and I hate going back to this because I know it's playing with your heart a little bit. I was trying to think of what kind of legendary event could there be where you have to use 5 Sith and the resulting character has a dark side tag?
Well, I mean, it depends on who the character is. I think you could... There's a lot of ways they can go about it, right?
Revan is the one that comes to mind for me.
Right. I think they're going to have to introduce some more characters before Revan comes, and I don't think he's coming soon. I do think that they're possibly setting something up. Same thing with Malgus. You can introduce all these characters, right? And then once you give people enough time to do it, then you can have, like, Journey to Find Darth Malgus or something like that, right? Where you have to go around and, do evil stuff and kill, the Republic and things of that nature. And you can make it really cool, right? Same thing with Revan. I think you'll need the characters. I mean, they're going Old Republic timeline. These are all characters from the Old Republic game and timeline, which is really fascinating. So far we've gotten 4, right? I mean, technically you can count HK-47 as part of that. So 5 Old Republic characters, technically. Mm-hmm. Although HK-47, I don't know when they pulled him from what arc, where his character was pulled from the story. But I'm going to assume that it's Old Republic, right? So you've got 5 characters there. I think it'll be like where you need all the Sith and then you go through... Or maybe it's the trials for Darth Malgus, because he is one of the top Sith at that time, right? I don't remember if he was on the council. I know he was a general. He was a commander. And he, of course, was the one that took down the Jedi Temple and the surprise attack on Coruscant. He also led the forces on Alderaan. He also led the initial assault into Korriban. And those are all in the cinematics. And then he does a bunch of other stuff. He's really a fascinating character. Where he gives you trials that you have to complete. Or it could be this. You have your Sith team, and Darth Malgus, being the commander that he is sending you to go clear each battle, right? And you get to use him in certain battles too. I mean, there's a lot of ways they can go with it. So
that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like we're invading Alderaan, next planet, we were invading this planet, right? We have to defend here, on the ship, we've been attacked. And then, you're kind of like his subordinates going through this journey, and then at the end, your reward is Malgus. You could do something like that.
All right. So, I said we'll do 3 questions. I'll try and collect the rest that are here. But it's Thursday, right? I figure we should try and do something of a little bit of a Throwback Thursday.
Throwback Thursday, okay.
Okay, do something fun that we did. do something fun that we did on a previous stream. Just have some fun with it here. Most recently, we had fun with something, and we never really continued it all the way through. I think it's time that we do it, Ranger.
What are we doing? I'm completely lost on what the hell you're talking about.
I'm going to start it here, and then the chat, I'm sure, will take over in about 30 seconds.
Okay.
I'll start. The Porg identity.
You're a bad man, Finn. I'm leaving.
Come up with one. You come up with one.
I don't want to. It makes my head hurt, man. Last time we couldn't do the stream for 30 minutes because we were laughing so hard.
Well, that's the point now. We have 30 minutes left on our stream. The Porg ultimatum.
Oh, God.
The Porg supremacy. We are having fun with this. I will try and collect questions, but we'll do that. It's a Throwback Thursday. Have fun, Ranger.
I mean, God.
The fantastic Porgs and where to find them.
I know.
The Porg connection. Porgs of the Caribbean.
Part 5. Porg's Revenge.
Batman vs Superman, Porg of Justice.
I knew you were going to do this. You're such a douche, man.
The Porg and the Furious.
Oh, God.
I'll try and throw some questions in there too, Paul Porg.
Yeah.
Hey, we have to have fun during our
We are having fun. I'm trying to contain. Someone's got to keep it together because I'm not even looking at. Oh my God, Porg 1. There's always hope. Porgs were built on hope.
Cloverfield pork. Oh my god, that would be so creepy if there's random alien porks just coming at you.
50 Shades of Porg, there you go. That's actually quite frightening.
Lord of the Porks.
One porg to rule them all, one porg to find them. One porg to gather them all, and in the darkness bind them.
Silence of the Porgs. Close Encounter of the Porg kind.
Jeez.
Wizard of Porg. Porgs on a plane.
Get these mother
porgs off this fucking plane. Jurassic Porg. I do want to see that new movie. Have you seen the trailer for the new Jurassic
very
Park?
much so.
I want to see that. Pork and Prejudice.
Flash Porgan. Flash. He'll save every one of us. Heartbreak Porg. Good Lord.
Forest Pork.
I may be a dumb pork, but I know what love is. Jenny.
Porg Odyssey 2001.
Triple pork.
Oh, so Darth Hideous asks, are there any Jurassic Park movies that are actually bad?
I didn't think they were bad movies. You know?
I can't say any of them were like super great though.
No, I mean
the first one more than the rest.
I thought the last one was really good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
I did too. I like all of them. There hasn't been one that
entertaining
I disliked.
movies. I mean, they're good popcorn flicks where you just sit down and I remember sitting down with my mom and stuff, and we were watching. And had some friends over. We were watching. I told her about Jurassic World, and she was like, "Okay." I mean, they were jumping out of their seats because there's some really scary moments in that movie, right? I mean, it doesn't bother me. I'm just there, like, you know, eating snacks and just chilling, and then all of a sudden they jump up and I'm just giggling at them like, come on. And they're like, oh my god, where did that come from? They were terrified. But that's the kind of movie you like, and those movies do that. They're action popcorn movies, right? I'm not expecting Academy Award performances, although the performances are good in there. I mean, are they a little tongue in cheek and still? Yeah, but they also are very horrifying. I mean, you know, depending on your sensitivity to scary things, I mean, that movie could scare the crap out of you, you know? And I don't think about that because I just don't have nothing like that bothers me, right? So I always get a kick more out of other people watching their reactions because I don't really have any, right? So it's always funny to watch that. They're really good.
So we have Dead Porg and Porg Pool for Deadpool. I sent a picture in the VIP chat to Sanely Red of a Deadpool pork.
The Porg Father.
Porginator. The Land Before Porg. Step Porgs. Played by Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly.
Oh my god. Porg versus Predator.
Dances with Porgs. Oh my god. Somebody just raised by a family of porgs. That may be the worst movie ever. American Porg.
Oh god. Bridge over the River Porg.
Porga Blanca. Oh my god. Oh my god. Dobby be flying Rancor crouching pork.
You did this to yourself, Finn. I'm trying to maintain calm, man, because I can't.
Fear and Porgan in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's a good one. 3 men and a porg baby.
Porg Ferratu.
The Big Porgowski.
That was still my favorite from the first one.
I know, that's still the classic one. Lawrence of Porgravia.
Slum Porg Million.
The Last Porg Geegan. The Last Mohegans. The Mohegans.
The Mohegans. The good, the bad, and the porg. Porgahontas.
The porg only rings twice, Finn. No country
Honey, I Shrunk the Porgs.
No country for old men or old porgs. Honey, I Shrunk the Porgs.
Saving Private Porg. Is that a war movie you can get behind, Richard?
I don't know. I mean, yes, I could, because I see all the Porgs get exploded. I'd be like, yes! Porg's Labyrinth.
Dirty dozen Porgs.
You all know why you've been here. You're all sentenced to death. Star Trek, Porg, resistance is futile.
So bad.
The Hunchporg of Notre Dame. 2001 A Porg Odyssey. Porg of the Universe. Portuguese.
Oh my god, I want to see a Porgnado. That's my new one. I want to see a Porgnado 2.
20,000 Porgs Under the Sea. Schindler's Porg. All right, that's enough Porg stuff, man. Let's get some questions. That's what people are here for.
All right.
See what you did, man?
It's a lunchtime
lost 20
stream.
people. No, actually, we gained viewers. Damn it.
We have more viewers now.
Y'all can't be encouraging him, man.
Edward Scissor Porg.
All right, that's enough.
Zero Dark Porg. All right. If you do have questions, go ahead and put them in.
That's enough of the Porg stuff. Because
that was our shout out to Throwback Thursday with the whole Porg movie thing. There is damage, considerable damage for me. Man.
All right, what's some questions, Finn?
It's just still going with the Porgs.
Side with the Porgs. We're not going to read them anymore. So you're just.
All right. All right. So let's see. So we talked about Emperor Palpatine and Vader. I'm still waiting to see. So we know that the marquee event is coming for the Marauder. I don't remember if it said when I don't think they said, right, when the actual Marauder event is coming.
Next week, right? What is it? The 17th or 15th, something like that.
Is it on the calendar?
It was on the notes.
Oh yeah, there it is. Shadow Malachor on the 16th. Okay, so we have. So I'm trying to think about the timings of all this, right? So if we think something big is about to come out, they'll release the Shadow of Malachor on the 16th, right? So if they do the regular cadence, it'll be about 2 weeks before it goes into anything like even the chromiums or whatever, right? But usually at the time of the marquee event, they also release the pack in order to get extra shards of the character. With that, if they release something at the end of the month, the question is whether or not we should buy Marauder. Chances are the event will need 5 Sith, right? So it's not necessarily going to be specifically Marauder. But, I mean, if you don't have any... Marauder is pretty good. I'm just wondering whether or not to spend crystals to get more Marauder shards in suspicion that there's going to be something that requires Marauder specifically, right?
Yeah. Let's take it one thing at a time. Let's get through...
Well, we'll have to decide then, because as soon as the marquee event is done, usually that pack goes away.
I don't think something big else is coming. I mean, they may be...
there has to be. They always release the big thing at the end of the month.
Well,
like they did with Haldo and Rose. I mean, we don't necessarily care about them, but they were the big thing.
I mean, releasing another character, I could see that. I don't think it's going to be something epic like you're saying. I think it's going to be more introduction to characters. I think the bigger news is going to be whatever the Game Changers put out, right? And the information that they've got coming out. I think there's some quality of life stuff coming. They're supposed to be in the works.
Yes.
New
I think that's
mode,
largely what they're meeting about with the Game Changers.
So I don't think that per se is where it's going to go. I think you're reading too much into it, my friend. But I could be wrong. I'm just saying my humble.
It may be. I mean, I'm trying to read into it because the sequence of events of stuff that's going on seems a little bit off. It may be that they're just doing things in order to boost player gameplay, which is fine.
Well, sure.
But in the current state, it looks like they're building up to something else. So that's the only part that kind of worries me here.
You know, it's funny. I'm looking at the Sith Marauder. I have this exact same outfit from the Old Republic. The mask, the robes, everything. And it's crazy. I mean, all this. I had all these, you know, these Old Republic characters. I had the Sith Trooper armor. I had the Sith Assassin outfit. I had, you know, Darth Nihilus, Revan. I mean, I had the Marauder. And there was two forms. You could have the ones with the short robes with the armor showing through the hands and stuff, and then there was a longer robe one that you can get. So it's kind of cool. I mean, you can say what you want about the Old Republic game. There was mistakes made for that game, unfortunately. But I think the actual, and it had more to do with the PvP and some other thing. The PvE storyline content is amazing. You could play that forever, and each storyline with the character voice acting, everything incredible. I think they dropped the ball with ships and PvP and stuff like that. That they in the end game content was a little me, you know. So I think if they had done that better, it could have been really good. You know, it had so much potential.
Yeah.
Next question.
Let's see. We have. They're still going with the boards.
I'm ignoring all that crap.
The Toonie asked, "Do we ever think Jedi will get some love with the rework?"
Not yet. I do think Jedi love is coming down the pipe. I don't know. I think they've got to get dark side squared away first, right? Because there are some Jedi that are. I mean, Hermit Yoda, if you unlock them, pretty damn good. Kenobi and Zeres have their places. I mean, are the Jedi behind the times? Yeah, but we need some dark side love and Empire love and bad guy love for a while. Then go back in and fix, you know, the Jedi, right? They're not meta, but their characters are okay. I mean, you can use them in certain spots, but yeah, they definitely need some. The lesser characters need some love. You know, like Mace Windu, the fact that he's awful. Just it needs to be addressed, but you know, one thing at a time. You know, they can only do so much at a time. So let's make evil great again and viable, and then we can go back and fix the Jedi.
Do you think potentially that the Sith rework and stuff, if they do release a legendary, could be something of a Jedi character? Or do you expect that whatever's released is going to be dark side?
No, it'll be dark side for a bit. I mean, again, I've always said if they release Revan, that it'll be Revan, but he'll be light side, dark side, right? But I think the rest is going to be evil for a bit. You know, you may get a character here and there in the upcoming months, like the Han Solo movies with scoundrels and stuff. But I think a lot of the characters we're going to see are going to be way more evil. It's a numbers thing. They just need to add more evil characters to the game, right? And release them so that people can handle dark side territory battles. You know, yeah, dark side territory battles are hard, but what makes them really, really hard, especially for, you know, guilds that have significantly less GP, is that they have to fill platoons, which you need to get those special buffs that make a huge difference, but they can't even come close because there's only so many characters that they can put in platoons, right? So,
for now, because they keep on expanding it every time we add more characters.
I know, but they need to keep doing that, right? Make it more, make it to where, you know, people aren't having to sacrifice things and pretty much having no chance because they're so limited on their teams, right? For dark side territory battles. There just needs to be more dark side, period.
Agreed. Question from Artorius Draknight. So, how's the new Empire reworks on defense? Have you had a chance to battle them?
I've only done 2 PvP matches. I haven't got to them yet. I'll let you know. I mean, Arnold put out a thing where he's like, don't invest in the Zetas. They're not great, blah, blah, blah. I think the Zetas are really good. I think the new unique for Vader is really good. And the change. I mean, the changes period are really good for Palpatine and Vader. I don't know what they are yet. How good they are for arena and stuff. we'll see. I'm sure Warrior and those guys will test it out. You know, that's what they do. I mean, I usually wait till Warrior tells me what he really thinks, and then I'll go play around with it. You know, Loki.
I think,
you know, for us, Loki will go do it. You know, Loki will use any team in PvP. He just doesn't care.
Spend the free crystals he got.
Yeah, you know, he just goes and he's already got them done, so he'll go play around with them and he'll come back and report to us. You know, because he just that's what he does. That's why we love Loki.
But yeah, I think they were just saying that the Zetas aren't worth it. Not that the characters weren't good. They weren't getting consistent results against Jedi Ray teams, which I can see. I think on offense, everything kind of has a chance to win. It's always going to be more about defense.
Yeah, but I mean, listening to KP67s and Sanely last night and those guys that have maxed out Vaders with Zetas and all that and Palpatines, they're just wrecking people, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, they said they were wrecking people with that team.
But I still don't think you needed a Zeta for it.
No, but every Zeta does help. I mean, that little bit sometimes does make a difference, Finn.
So Boom on our RSG Discord put a video earlier about him using Emperor Palpatine in the 5th spot with Night Sisters and basically just destroyed a Jedi Ray team, which is fine, except the Zeta was 100% useless on Palpatine. He didn't even lose any protection. So there was really no point to the Zeta whatsoever.
Well, you can't look at one battle and assume.
Well, no, that's my point. Is that you have to see how the battle goes. The Zeta may not even have
just that, but you need to see over time. You know, you got to have a bigger sampling size to see is it worth it or not. I just think that the jury's still out. So let's wait and see till we get some more raw data. I mean, I'm kind of leaning to where you are, Finn. I think it doesn't hurt to have by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't think it's, again, I'm in that boat between, I don't think it's bad, and I don't think it's spectacular. I think it's really, really good, and I liked what they did with the reworks. Are they meta viable for Arena now? Again, on the fence, I don't know yet. Are they definitely better in PvE? Oh, you bet your ass they are, you know, especially for dark side territory battles. So, we'll see what kind of, you know, we'll wait till the data comes back. I'm sure Loki will come to us in a day or so like, they suck, or like, oh, they're really good, I love them. You know, so that's what he does.
All right. And then another question. I think this one we may disagree, so we can spend a little bit of time on this. So Fatality V2 says, now that I'm holding off putting a Zeta on Vader's unique, who should I do next?
Colorado Max.
R2 number crunch or Han Solo shoot first?
Ooh. Oh, Jesus. Oh, wow. It's hard to argue either one. I want to say R2 number crunch, but damn, it's hard to turn. Thing is, Han needs that Zeta to be effective.
I don't disagree with that, but I also think he needs that bayonet.
Well, yeah, he needs the bayonet too. Yeah, R2 number crunch. Damn.
Unless you have Han at gear 12 with the bayonet.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't put the Zeta on him before R2.
Yeah. Yeah, go with the number crunch. It's a good one. But that's a tough choice, man. If you do have the beta and everything, or you can, or you are right there for it, then get OG Han, because I'm telling you that guy's amazing. He just destroys people. It's disgusting.
All right. Let's see. What else do we have in terms of non-Porg related questions?
Yeah, no, I'm ignoring that crap.
I love reading it, but I'm trying. Let's see. Scrolling down here. Okay, let's see. So Sanely Rad asked, the mythic event for Emperor Palpatine was pushed back for his rework. Do you think this is the case for Grandmaster Yoda too?
Could be. I don't know if there's a rework necessarily associated. You mean, you got to think you have to change what they have to do other things, and that takes time to code and everything and come up with, you know, how it's going to work. I think the rework is just kind of in line with, you know, us having the chance to do, you know, the mythic event for Palpatine. And I didn't even look at what are the rewards for that. Can it show me? Let me look here. We get rewards. Let's see. We get money, and we get we get the purple. What is it? Purple plus mods on those.
I think so.
Yeah. I don't know if they'll do. There's going to be a Yoda rework before his. I mean, I think main thing it'll just be, hey, it's the Mythic event. I think this kind of just fell hand in hand. You know, not only can you do the Mythic event, but we rework the characters.
It would be neat though if they rework Grandmaster Yoda.
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
to make him a little more useful. He did have his little bit of time in the light though with the Qui-Gon Jinn meta when his Zeta first came out. So he had a little bit of time. You would expect Yoda to be a little bit better, though. But I don't know for sure. One of the issues with the Yoda event as a Mythic event, if you remember, the last stage of the Mythic is when you kind of switch positions, right? So you're playing who you're normally fighting, and it's like reverse. So the Thrawn event, you were Thrawn, you were the Empire, you were fighting Phoenix. The Yoda event was Jedi on both sides. So it was a little bit weird. I don't know if that's what caused the problems at all, but it was one of the weird aspects of the Yoda event that we were looking at when they first announced this. And wasn't surprising that the Yoda event was delayed. We thought it was because of that. It's possible now that we see Palpatine that there is a rework, but there's no telling. And honestly, we don't need more light side.
No.
Let's see. What else? I don't see any other questions.
Oh, I'm sure they're all covered up at the poor crap.
No, I went through it. I went through everything now. People are just discussing stuff. They're having fun in our chat. That's what people do.
No, it's okay. I don't mind.
Our chat is fun.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody's saying anything funny or anything, we can put that out there.
Well, we can go back to the porgs.
No, we're not going back to the damn porgs. We had our moment in this. You don't stand in the sun too long, Finn.
All right, so we have Grim, who says, the Emperor Mythic is showing as starting in 1 day, 13 hours, yet on the calendar it says February 18th. Do you think this is a bug?
It's just probably a misnomer or something.
Let me see. I'm going to the calendar right now to see.
I mean, remember, the calendar says at the top, all dates are subject to
change.
Yes. So, again, we always tell you guys to be flexible.
Well, it has the Emperor's demise listed on the calendar as February 9th. I'm looking at it right now. It says February 9th to February 15th.
Yeah.
So,
and it says 1 day and something out, or in an hour, or whatever, 14 minutes, whatever. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it'll.
And it actually was edited a little while ago. It was edited about 30 minutes ago. So that may be the reason, Graham. Yeah. So they updated it now. The Emperor's Demise Mythic event is now listed as February 9th, and it was edited. I don't know if that was the edit, but it was edited about 40 minutes.
I just wish I could take my Palpatine in there and kill Palpatine.
That would be pretty good.
Who are you? I'm you. How dare you be me? Bleh. Let's see.
Right, so Alex said, I'm in a newer arena shard. I Zeta Vader, both leadership and unique.
Nice.
Put him in my dark side team. No Palpatine, and I improved 20 places right away from 44 to 24.
Nice. Very nice.
Mm-hmm. Very glad to hear that.
Yes. Oh, $2.
I'll be honest, I might have told you to do something differently if I saw your roster, but the fact that you got a good result is good.
Yeah. Clone Crubber just donated $2. He said, reality poor gamers, my favorite.
He got you to read
stream. If somebody donates, I'll read it, but I'm not, Christ. All right. I saw some other questions pop in.
Mm-hmm. What else? 73 says, asks, when does the marquee for Sith Marauder start?
Yeah, we
looked at that earlier. It's the 16th. Yep, it'll start on the 16th. Doc Ariok has a question. Chances of a new raid for the Game Changers?
Possibly. We don't know what the new game mode is going to be. It could be a raid. It could be all. I mean, your speculation is good as mine. It's very hush hush. Nobody has any idea. Not even the Game Changers. So
I'm going to say no. I don't know.
I
don't think we can fit a new raid into the timetable. They have to be really careful about the time sink that this game is causing.
We just don't know yet. I mean,
but here is a potential solution.
Well, they are been doing better with the quality. Well, hold on. They've been doing better with cutting back on the other things for quality of life. If they can do some more things like that, but then introduce a new game mode at the same time addressing those, possibly. So,
but it'll be hard for any game mode that has a set time, right? Territory wars and territory battles, and while people are getting used to it.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be necessarily. I think it's going to be something different. We don't know what it is. I don't think it's going to be something like that because we have enough time with territory wars, territory battles, raids. It's going to be something else. I think it's going to be something different. I don't know what, but I think it's going to be something outside of those. But I think
raids have potential, actually, but not a new raid.
Yeah, possibly.
So, like, two of the things, one of the biggest things we've talked about is the fact that any new player, right, the cost of entry essentially is very high for a new player to get caught up, right?
Yeah.
So what they could do is add a new tier for Rancor, let's say, right?
Yeah.
The new tier now costs 60,000 tickets, the same as the current tier 7.
Right.
So the new one, tier 8, will cost it. It'll give you not only Han Solo shards, but whatever new rewards that you want as well. Now all the other raids will be cheaper, so that newer players in smaller guilds will be able to catch up quicker. So you just add another tier on top of the Rancor, add different rewards, but add it on top of the previous one. So you don't get a whole challenge debacle that we used to have before they did the quality of life, where people would do like lower tiers and stuff. So have it so it adds on to the tier 7, create a new tier raid, have it cost exactly the same, so guilds don't have to change their scheduling. And then you reduce the cost of the other ones and let new players catch up quicker. Because Han Solo is a good character.
Yeah.
So that would be my suggestion. I don't think it's going to be a new raid just because of the timing aspect.
I think it should be a new raid where you just sit around the campfire eating porks. That's just me. All right.
All right, that's it. We're going back to pork movies.
No, we're not. I'll meet your monkey ass. What else we got? Let's get through. It's about time to close shop, so let's get these last couple questions in.
Yeah, let me find. I just scrolled past one. Getting it. Okay, so Adam Tron asked, Night Sisters seemingly out of nowhere have a harder time in the top 20. Why do you think that is?
I don't think they have a tougher time. All teams have a tough time in the top 20. I mean, you're talking the best, but any team can beat any other team. It's not like there's a dominant team on defense and you face it like, well, crap. You can beat, so I don't think...
There's another really easy thing, too. Night Sisters are very easily countered by Chase, and they're very easily countered by anything that has a healing. So something like a Barris also counters it very quickly. The problem is you don't leave them in overnight. So what you'll see is that people use a team in order to beat the Night Sisters. They don't even have to be super modded.
Nope.
The fact that you heal cancels out Plague. They attack a Night Sister team, Night Sisters drop, and then they switch to something that lasts better on defense, like a Night Sister or a Jedi Ray team. So I don't think they're having a harder time necessarily. I think that people have just figured out the counter to Night Sisters, and they just use it a little bit more. So
yeah. Next.
Stormforge, is crit chance and crit damage set still good for Palpatine as lead, or would you do speed and potency?
I would do speed and potency. You want
get him as fast as possible.
Fast as possible, and you want that stuff sticking,
Let's see. I think that pretty much covers it. We're pretty much at the end here, so I think we can start wrapping up.
Well, you get to wrap up today, Finn, because you made me very angry. So you can do the end.
All right. Stuff. So Porg, you all for porging us today. What? I'm just going to replace every word with Porgs.
No, please don't.
Well, Danilo Papaya said, I got 99 problems and Porgs ain't one.
Oh, get the hell out of here. I hate all of you.
So I hope you guys all had fun today. This is our currently regular weekday lunch stream.
Yeah.
We do this at 12 noon Eastern time, which is usually during the Eastern hour lunchtime. And for those of you guys that are in other time zones, you can watch this on YouTube, or after the little bit of a delay, you'll be able to catch it on the iTunes store.
Yep.
The link to the iTunes store is in the link in the description of this YouTube video below. Or you can just go to the iTunes store and search for Reality Skewed Gamers. Make sure you add the gamers, because there is something else called Reality Skewed, which is some kind of life podcast, and it's really not all that. Ours is better.
Won't be talking about Star Wars there.
Nope, ours is definitely better.
Yes.
So make sure you go to ours. Please vote. Give us the ratings as well. Whatever you guys think, it just gives us an idea about what we can do, and leave comments on the iTunes store as well. For this is the Reality Skewed Gamers YouTube channel. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you can get notifications about when we do our streams. In addition to the lunchtime streams, we do a Wednesday night stream at 8 p.m. Eastern time, like we did yesterday. And a lot of times there's information that is just dropping at the time of our stream. So yesterday we had the Sith Marauder drop right at that time. So you guys will get first glance at these new characters, as well as our input on it. If you guys have questions, we answer questions on the Wednesday stream, but we have a stream exclusively dedicated to answering questions, which is on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern time. It is Jedi Academy. It is the RSG crew, along with some of the other YouTubers for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, such as Warrior Presents, Sir Loki, Darth Bella, Ramona Zab, Mike Hunt, and we have some other guests that are usually on, such as Turb,
I think we'll be on again this Saturday, yeah. And I think we're trying can we reach out to Smithy? Like, oi, come back.
We will try and reach out to Smithy as well. Smithy was the originator of Jedi Academy. We've kind of continued it. That's a strictly question and answer stream, so you guys can come, bring all of your questions. We go through the panel, get your answers. And then on Saturday night is our just crazy adult fun stream. It'll be our Saturday night streams at 10 p.m. Eastern time, where Ranger and some of the regulars, such as Lady Undane, Tis McVenom, T Money, Sir Loki, they all just have fun, drink a little bit.
Yeah, this weekend is Tits' birthday, and I'm pretty much going to be a shattered and broken man surrounded by women as we do whatever they like. It's Tits' birthday, so I will not be wearing a dress. It's not happening.
Well, maybe. We'll see.
What do you mean?
You guys have to tune in to see whether or not
I'm not wearing a dress. I mean, if someone donates $200 or $300, I'll wear a dress. And that ain't happening. I mean, I am not cheap, Finn. I am not,
okay.
I am not a whore.
The challenge has been laid. So Ranger needs $200 or $300 in order to buy and then wear the dress onto the stream.
I've got tons of dress here with my wife. I mean, it's not a problem. I can just go scoop one up. But I mean, I'm not wearing one just to wear one, right?
Okay, we'll make it $200. So if we can get $200 specifically for Ranger,
how about $300? You don't be making me cheap.
You said $200 or $300, so I'm going with the $200.
Well, let's make it $250. We'll split the difference.
Fine, $250. If we can get $250 before Saturday's stream, Ranger will wear a dress. There's different ways you guys can do that. One is if you're live in the chat. Yep. If you're live in the chat, we have the super chat option where you can donate. Or if you guys go into our YouTube channel, there is a link for subscribe. Yeah, I know somebody's ringing my doorbell. So if you go to the YouTube channel itself, there is a link to the PayPal where you can donate directly. And there you'll be able to donate to RSG. Yep. Now, if you want to finish up, Ranger, I'm going to go see who's at the door.
All right. Yep. So everybody make sure to check out everything out. Remember, tomorrow we'll do the lunch stream as well. And also, we got those new videos out there, guys. We got the Territory Wars Part 2 out there. And as Grande would say, and then we also have the new player guide. If you're a new player, we got a whole guide out there we did recently of all the streams we did for the new player out there that breaks everything down. Also, if you're a new player, old player, doesn't matter. Come our Discord. We have a huge community of people from all over, from some of the top guilds and stuff. That if you have a question, we have question section in there, or general chat that can answer your questions. That's what it exists for, and we're here to help you. It's about the community. It's about everybody helping one another. So that being said, I want to thank everybody for coming out here. So that being said, let's end it here. So on behalf of myself and Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman, thank you guys for hanging out with us during lunch. Everybody have a great day. Be safe, and we'll holler at you later.